Good morning, mindful performers. Welcome. Today's topic is mastery. Daniel Pink wrote a book called Drive, and in this book, he explores what motivates us as humans once our basic needs are met. Once you have enough money, once you are being paid enough so that you're not worrying about what you're being paid, what actually motivates you as a person? What actually motivates employees? What motivates us as human beings? And they found that there were three areas that are very important in motivating us once we have our basic needs met. And those three things are purpose, so working, and understanding the greater meaning of what you're working towards. Now that can be the vision of the company that you work for, that can be the vision of your own company, that can be a greater purpose, serving humankind, whether that's through public service work or volunteering or whatever that case may be. Purpose was found to be very important in keeping us motivated once our basic needs are met. The second area was autonomy. So having the tools and the freedom of choice to move forward in whatever you're working on is exceptionally important to us to stay motivated. We need to have those tools. We need to feel like we have options so that we can continue growing and continue working towards new and more exciting or challenging areas within our life. And I'm speaking relatively broadly because this can go across careers, it can go across relationships, it can go across your physical health, your spiritual path, any of the primary foods that we know are so important to our overall happiness tie into moving forward and having the choice and the autonomy to do that. And then today's topic is mastery. So that's the third area. And mastery is the continual pursuit of improving yourself in a skill. And if you've watched the 5 changes that I made to lose 40 pounds, I'll put a link in the video once I get this posted. One of those changes was a continual pursuit of self-improvement. So mastery is actually tied to there. That was a coincidence, but I thought that was neat that as I looked into this topic, I've found that that is one of the areas that truly does keep you motivated and is important in motivation. Always looking for a better way to do what you're doing. Always looking for a way to take your skill set to the next level. One area that came to mind to me was yoga. So if you try yoga or if you've seen yoga, there's all these different poses. You can get into one pose, and when you first try it, all your focus goes on balance, not falling over to the left, not falling over to the right, or for whichever direction you may fall, because there's plenty of options in some of the poses. And the instructor the whole time is actually talking to you and saying, lengthen your back leg, firm up your hips, square your thighs or square your hips. And there's all these instructions that you're giving you that you don't even hear because you're so focused. Well, you might hear them, but you're so focused on balancing that you can't implement them. And so as you continue down the path and as you improve your balance, I think of this as you get to a point in your life where financially you're not worried about paying the bills, you start paying attention to how can I get the most out of this yoga pose? How do I get the most exercise, the best health benefit? How do I get into the deepest stretch? How do I have the best experience while I'm taking this class? And then you start paying attention to all those little instructions that the teacher was saying the whole time, every single time. And you start paying attention to how straight your spine is. And you pay attention to your knee being over your foot in a certain way. And you pay attention to squaring your hips. And you notice that all these little tweaks make the pose maybe more challenging because you're actually in it now and you're actually getting the most benefit out of it. And we can apply this mastery technique, paying attention to all those little improvements and always being aware of where we might be able to improve to all areas of our life. We can We can use mastery in mastering a role at work. We can do it in the yoga pose. We can master our partner's love language. We can master a way of eating that is healthy. And keeping in mind that as we work through mastery in all of these areas of our life, that we should never reach a point where we feel like there is no room for improvement. Even in some of the yoga poses, or even in a career, things are always changing. Your body's changing, the environment's changing, the landscape, the competitive landscape's changing. I'm mixing together here the yoga and the corporate world. But there's always going to be something that allows you to pay attention to mastering that moment, mastering that pose, mastering that sales call, mastering that client support experience. There's going to be ways to improve, and to not forget that, and to remember that when you're feeling unmotivated, when you're feeling like you're just going through the motions, that these are the three areas that you can look at in your life and say, do I have the freedom and the tools that I need, the autonomy? Do I feel as if I'm working towards a greater purpose? And am I working towards mastery? Because the more that you work towards mastering any area of your life, especially ones where you might be feeling down in the doldrums or feeling like it's kind of a grind, the more happiness and serenity you're going to feel. I was telling my daughter that, doing the live stream and doing the videos, I found that even just spending a couple of hours, on the weekend or in the evenings, working on making sure that there's links out there and thinking about topics and thinking through topics like the one for today, really improves my overall enjoyment with everything else in my life. It improves my day job experience. It improves being home and enjoying time with family. And why is that? Well, because that's the greater purpose, right? I see a greater purpose in there. And at the same time, trying to master my skills in marketing, in presenting, in communication. So pick up the book Drive or rent it from your local library. I'm a big fan of the library. And take a read through it. It's pretty fascinating on the behavioral studies that they did, and what they found really motivates us as humans. One of the studies displayed that it's not always money, right? There's a certain point where money doesn't motivate, it actually demotivates. There's some really eye-opening insights in that book and in those studies around how to stay motivated and what motivates us as a person. I hope that the topic of mastery was beneficial. As I said, Daniel Pink, he has a great TED Talk. He has a great book. He actually has more than one book. Drive is the one that I referenced today. And learn a little bit more about what motivates you, so that when you might feel like you're just going through the motions, you can look at some tools that help you get more enjoyment out of your day-to-day life and to keep you motivated moving forward. If this topic was helpful, please share the video. Make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube page. And I hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget to eat your cantaloupe.